My 27M boyfriend can't seem to be happy for 24F me. Okay, so this is my first post about a problem like this, but I'm not sure where else to turn. Myself, 24F, and my boyfriend, 27 meters, have been together for 2 years and lived together for 1. Tonight I handed in my final paper for my master's degree, so I go into our bedroom because he's in bed to tell him about it because it had been extended for 2 years due to life complications and then an extra 4 months due to COVID-19. So naturally, I was very excited to tell him. So I went and told him, and although he was tired he didn't seem grumpy, but when I said it was finally done his first response was, "Well, you could have had it done earlier if you didn't go part-time." It caught me off guard since I had just been so happy about handing it in, and I didn't even get a yeah or congratulations. I told him it wasn't a very nice thing to say and he just said, "Well, it's true, isn't it?" So I left him in the bedroom and now I don't feel like sleeping in the same bed as him. It's made me realize how often he shoots me down or tries to downplay a lot of things in my life. Whether it's my voice being too loud or that my job isn't that hard because I only work 35 hours a week. It can just be so draining when I go to him excited or happy about something, and then immediately has to bring it down with some backhanded compliment or comment. He claims this is just who he is and that he can't change that, but it feels like ever since we moved in together he has become increasingly annoyed with me for things that have always been there from the beginning. Am I overreacting to this response? Too long didn't read. My boyfriend didn't congratulate me on completing my master's degree and now I think he isn't happy with me because he always shoots me down. Am I overreacting? Update, the 3rd of December 2020. Thank you, everyone, for your support and kind words. Today when he came home from work I broke it off, telling him what he said was rude to me and really put a lot of things into perspective on our relationship in general. I decided to make a comparison to him. He had recently pulled off a skate trick he's been trying to perfect for almost 2 years. I said, "Imagine if after you told me about finally pulling off that trick, I said you could have done it sooner if you tried harder." His response was, "That doesn't bother me, I'd find that funny." It's obvious we're both just on different wavelengths about what is appropriate in a relationship, and the type of respect we both should have for one another, so I've now broken up with him. He had nothing to say and told me he doesn't want to talk about it. I didn't even get an apology. He is sleeping on the couch, and I am looking at house shares to move into. Thank you again, everyone. He claims this is just who he is and that he can't change that. Cool. So now you know what your life will be like if you continue to stay with this or girl. Imagine all the future milestones you'll hit in your life. Imagine sharing them with someone who is thrilled to see you hit them, who will scoop you up in a big hug and tell you how proud they are of your achievements. Your boyfriend has just told you he will never do that. You can imagine a better life for yourself. You can choose a better life, one with people who love and support you, instead of ceaselessly tearing down everything you build. Thank you everyone for your strong and kind words. I've been venting to my sister for the last 2 hours and she believes we should break up. I think deep down in my heart I know I'd be happier without him. It can just feel difficult when we're under the same roof, and because of my job I can't just pack my bags and go to a friend's or family's house. I'm going to wait until he has finished work tomorrow and then try and talk about it, but I think it's only going to go in one direction. My friend just completed her master's while working and it nearly killed her. What you have done is an amazing accomplishment. Who cares if it took you longer by going part-time? You completed a really difficult thing and you should be very proud of yourself. My mother is a little like your boyfriend. I don't get complimented on achievements but she always points out any negative she can find. Breaks my heart every damn time. I can't cut her out, but I don't tell her anything anymore, that's for sure. But you definitely do not have to tie yourself to someone who brings you down like this. If that's just who he is, then needing a supportive partner who celebrates your achievements is just who you are and you don't have to compromise. Trust me, I'm in my 30s and having someone constantly put you down can do serious damage to your motivation and self-esteem. And as I'm writing this, I'm getting angrier and angrier on your behalf because it sucks to feel the way you do right now. Fuck that guy, what you have done is amazing and don't ever let him make you think otherwise. That's a manipulation tactic he may be unaware of that keeps you constantly, subconsciously seeking his approval. Very common in narcissists. He's not going to change it and you are right to be offended. Congratulations on such an accomplishment. Now go forth and accomplish dumping someone who doesn't appreciate your victories. No, not overreacting. You achieved a huge accomplishment. I don't even know you, but I'm proud of you. Call some friends and celebrate. As for your BF, he has made it clear that he intends to shit all over everything you do. This is who he has, and will continue, to choose to be. It's very hard to keep wind in your sails with a partner constantly cutting holes in them. My 36F husband, 41M, is fighting with me over my health problems. What do I do? Sorry for using a throwaway, but my husband occasionally readies. And God, I need to vent. Really vent. So, recently, after years and years of dramas and issues including 2 years of TTC my son, I've been diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis, adenomyosis and uterine fibroids. It sucks, but hey, at least I now know that all of the pain and associated badness aren't all in my head. Long story short, a solution I was offered was to have a Mirena IUD placed, which, in some women, is supposed to stop menstruation. No bleeding, no pain. Sounds great, but I'm wary of it. I've had to have 2 copper IUDs removed in the past, once due to displacement found after an early miscarriage and one due to partial perforation of my uterus. Also, my body hates hormones. Really hates them. My specialist, who's the preeminent endo specialist in my state, basically says it's this or a hysterectomy. I know there are many women out there who have had hysterectomies and are happy, but I'm not there yet, emotionally. It seems so permanent. I feel too young. What if it causes more issues than it fixes? What if it kills my sex life completely? What if? You get the idea. So, I have the Mirena placed. Ouch. It was done 2 months ago now, and fair to say it hasn't been a success. It's been 2 months of constant bleeding, weird pain and really awful mood swings. My specialist says it can take 3 to 6 months to settle. I'm prepared to wait it out because I just want to have a solution to this goddamn disease. Until, a few nights ago, when there's a pain so intense I can't breathe. I'm no wuss with pain. I had an ovarian cyst rupture and bleed into my pelvis, and I took almost 12 hours to get myself to hospital, but this was otherworldly. It died down, but something wasn't right. And still isn't. Off to the doctor I go, who refers me for an ultrasound. I went yesterday and yeah, it's not great. The ultrasound tech was fantastic, friendly and knowledgeable, and had no issues with giving me what information he could. As soon as he saw my uterus on the screen, it was clear that the IUD had moved. My uterus was empty, nothing there, no device seen. He had a hunt for it and saw it way down past where it was supposed to be, which would explain my pain. Freaking thing has embedded itself somewhere near my cervix. My body has partially expelled it and it's lying sideways trying to escape. More ouch. He can't see if it's actually perforated anything but suspects so, and is sending the pics to my doctor ASAP. I'm unsurprised, but I'm gutted and angry and disappointed. Keep hearing it's this or a hysterectomy in my head. I get out to the car park and call my husband, who listens and empathizes and says he has a hug for me when I get home. Awesome, right? I get home. Not so awesome. I start explaining what I saw in more detail, and what I know. Husband interrupts, stops me, says he'd rather hear it from the specialist. I'm like, what? Why? I know what I saw, and what I know. I was there and saw everything on screen clear as day. He says he doesn't think the ultrasound tech should be diagnosing anything. I go quiet. Why is he not listening to me? He notices I'm quiet, gets annoyed, asks me if what he's saying isn't fair enough. I say no, it's not fair enough. That he needs to listen to the information that I'm giving him. He says he is, but thinks the specialist should be the one to confirm first. I'm seething at this point. Now not only gutted and disappointed, but now feeling like an idiot. Husband is getting more annoyed by the second. This is turning into a fight. Why? He says he doesn't know what to say to make me not angry with him. I tell him he doesn't have to say anything, he needs to listen, ask me questions if he needs clarification, understand what I'm telling him. His response: I'm not here to dance to your narrative. I'm in tears. He leaves the room. I'm not going to lie, everything hit me at that point. All the pain, anger, frustration. I let out a scream, start sobbing, and run into the backyard in tears. He comes out, asks me what I think I'm doing. I tell him to please go away. He does. And now he's not talking to me. Radio silence since last night. And here we are. I can't reconcile this. I don't understand how someone who is supposed to love me could be this cold, and unempathetic, and just cluelessly mean. We fight, he and I, sometimes really badly, but this is something else. I'm confused. What do I do? What would you do? I don't want him to be involved with any of my medical stuff anymore, honestly. Is that just me being petty? Help. Too long didn't read. My husband won't listen to my answers to his questions about my health issues. I get frustrated, he gets angry. Now we're fighting. Help. Edit. I've decided that I want this thing out. It's caused me nothing but pain and bleeding for the past 2 months straight. I'm sitting in bed waiting. My husband has asked if there's anything he could do, but he didn't offer to drive me or to come with me. He's home, not working today, and I'm really hurt by that. Edit 2. The Ed has managed to get the ultrasound report faxed through. I didn't even know people used faxes anymore, and have a look themselves, and it's clear that the IUD is misplaced and needs to come out. Like I tried to explain to my husband. So I'm waiting, alone, stressed and unhappy. Yay me. Edit 3. I had the IUD removed, horrific, and drove home in tears. Husband was okay when I got home. No hug or anything, but helped set me up in a dark room to get some rest. Then, surprise surprise, another fight. This one was him asking how it went, if there was perforation, what to do now. He asked if I would or could get another one placed, and if it's possible to have it placed any other way. I said no, that's not something that's possible, and he says, but have you asked the question? And I say no, and he says, then how do you know? I'm baffled at this point and actually go to get a piece of paper to draw my anatomy and how the IUD is placed, but he gets annoyed and says he doesn't want to see it. We both start getting irritated. I cannot understand why he is doing this again, and he thinks he's being logical. I'm now upset, go for a shower crying, and then think I'm going to give it one last shot. I go and try to explain to him the pain and trauma I've been through and how this stuff has just made it worse, and it turns into a full-on fight with him refusing to see my side. I yell at him that this is my issue and it's not about him, and he tells me to FCK off and go. Now I'm just about hysterical, and he yells that I have mental health problems and need to see someone because I'm effed in the head, and I yell back that I don't know why he's being such a effing bastard. And now I'm sitting in my car with nowhere to go, feeling sick and sore and so lost. So yeah, that escalated quickly. I just want to say that having a hysterectomy really shouldn't change your hormones unless they take your ovaries too. My sister had a hysterectomy at 38 and she seriously loves it. She had the same fibroids, endometriosis, and polyps issue. Having your uterus removed shouldn't change your hormones or sex drive, just your ability to have children. But on another note, your husband needs to be supportive and kind. And it didn't sound like he was being either of those things. This is a big decision and you need support and love and understanding during that. My M26 coworker, F29, invited me to a sauna. What does that mean? Hi, I, M26, have started last year at a new company and clicked early on with one of my co-workers, F29. Since we changed to home office in March, I have not seen her in person, but we have talked a lot on Zoom and exchanged texts etc, and not all of that was about the job. As we both live alone, we kinda opened up and talked about our isolation problems etc. None of it was sexual or romantic, even though she has a slightly flirty personality with everyone, and I am attracted to her, but due to this being my first real job, us being co-workers and, mostly, feeling there's no chance in her she's interested, I never really considered asking her out even though talking to her is one of the highlights of the day during this crappy time. All of this is just the setup, as on Friday we were talking about things we miss and she talked about loving to go to the sauna, and when I told her I never had gone to a sauna, she was immediately kind of excited and invited me to go with her once all of this is over, as her sauna place had a mixed place. She then added, "Or do you have a problem with nudity?" which I denied. I was kind of flushed and did kind of agree to going, but was admittedly a bit caught off and didn't know what to say, but she was very insistent that I would love it and we definitely should do it. In any case, she then sent me an appointment for January for sauna, which was clearly meant as a joke, but nevertheless. Ever since Friday I can't stop thinking of this. It felt as if this was an actual invite and not a "we should definitely meet sometime." So does this mean anything? Was this meant as her indicating she is interested romantically? Or is this just her wanting to spread her love for saunaing? Or do you think this isn't an actual invite? /TDLR. My co-worker invited me to a mixed sauna after the lockdown is over, and I would like to know if this means she might be interested in something romantic or if this is just something innocent.